Christmas means many different things for many different people. We all have different things that the holiday season is about, you know. For some people, it's about getting together with family and being with loved ones. For some people, it's about getting some relaxation and breathing room from normal life. For some people, it's about Jesus, kind of an important dude this time of year. But generally speaking, the holidays are not a time for drama or arguments unless it's around a family dinner table. And yet, imagine my shock when every time I opened my phone over the holidays, I saw people console warring. Like, we're talking middle of the day Christmas Eve, bright and early Christmas morning. There were grown men being total brainlets on Twitter on behalf of giant corporations instead of doing literally anything else. You could be drinking eggnog, you could be watching Elf, but instead you're doing this. And you know who's not happy about that? Jesus. Now, I've been AFK for a bit because, you know, it was Christmas time, but whenever I whipped out my phone because I was on the pooper or something, I would take screenshots of the dumbest console warring that I saw, and in this video, we're gonna ease ourselves into the new year by going over some of the worst console war Christmas takes I have ever seen. And yes, all of these takes are from Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I think there's like one or two from the 26th, but that's really not much better. Like, it was apparently really important to some people that this is how they spent their holidays. And since it was just so important to you that you do this, why not give you the attention you so desire? So the rest of us can eat our leftover cookies and laugh at you. That generic Eric says, to the parents who bought their kids an Xbox, please do me a favor. When you record the kids opening up their gifts in the morning, can you make sure you have your phones tilted sideways? I'd like to see their disappointment in widescreen format. Thank you. Because nothing says I'm a really smart person who should be taken seriously and respected, like preemptively shitting on kids who just wanted an Xbox for Christmas at 4:21 p.m. on Christmas Eve. Like, Santa was literally loading up the sleigh and you tweeted this. You could have just waited a few more hours and he may have still shown up at your house. Also, God forbid kids just want Xboxes. Seeing tweets like this, I'm always reminded of when I was a kid and there were the annoying kids at school who would try to tell you your opinions on things you liked were stupid just because the thing was stupid. Like, you'd be talking to your friend about something and that one kid would walk up and be like, oh yeah, well, did you know the thing you like is actually stupid? And you'd be like, well, I actually like that thing. And then the kid would be like, that's stupid because the thing you like is stupid. And then you look at the kid like this, and the kid looks at you like this. That's what you were doing while most of us were getting ready for Christmas Eve dinner. And you're not ashamed of it. That's the worst part. Good old Peter Ovo says, Call of Duty alone likely makes more money than all PlayStation Studio games combined. This is why I say PlayStation Studios can't compete with Xbox Studios. And when did you tweet this out? Christmas Eve at 2:28 p.m. And I mean, nothing happened. Like there was no news to bring this topic up. There was no segue. You were just thinking about how much money Microsoft is going to make with Call of Duty on Christmas Eve at 2 p.m. Okay. Anna Anson says, with no games, there is no fun. Don't waste your money on a gameless console. Get a #Xbox. #Xbox Game Pass. I mean, there's at least 3 PlayStation games in that picture that you posted. And I gotta tell you guys, I don't get the whole PlayStation has no games meme. At least not when that's coming from Xbox people. Because, like, you could say Xbox has more games, which is true, but that's not what you're saying. You're saying PlayStation has no games, which I can only assume is you referring to PlayStation not having many exclusives right now. But, like, Xbox has no exclusives at all. They're all on PC. Like, if you want the platform with the most games, you don't get either console, you get a PC. So calling PlayStation gameless is a weird move because by the same logic that you're calling it gameless, the Xbox is also gameless. Am I thinking too hard about this one? I might be thinking too hard about this one. Mickey says Xbox gamers know a God of War PS5 remake collection would sell incredible numbers and look incredible as well. Xbox scared and on the offensive to a rumor that is still unconfirmed. Sunglasses emoji. Yeah, apparently rumors started floating around on Christmas Eve or something about a God of War remake trilogy, which frankly I think would be kind of rad. I mean, I'm one of the many people who thinks the remake God of War trilogy was such an astronomical step backwards from the original trilogy's gameplay. So, I mean, by all means, Sony, introduce your target audience to actual skill-based combat systems. But I love that the PlayStation dudes like fucking Mickey over here are now preemptively bragging about paying full price a second time for PS2 games when one of the Xbox's whole selling points is Game Pass and backwards compatibility and like not paying full price for old games. Like, I'm just saying, Sony doesn't give a fuck about preserving their history, and neither does their target audience, until Sony presents them with a full price re-release of their history, and then they're like, woo, we love Sony's history. Like, if you actually thought the PS2 era of Sony games were good and awesome, which they were, why don't you guys demand Sony preserve their history more? This is the same company that refuses to preserve games like Bloodborne, and Sly Cooper, and Ratchet and Clank, and Resistance, and Infamous, and Killzone. Like, do I need to keep going? This company doesn't give a fuck about preserving its history unless they upcharge out the butt for it. And now that a rumor is floating around that they're going to do this again, you've already started running damage control for them on Christmas Eve. Doobie tweeted out, I'm gonna get really, really baked and play Starfield, not a bad Christmas Eve. And then Stefano63497223 says, another typical example of Xbot L, a junkie playing a rubbish game. I mean, what's worse? Spending Christmas Eve relaxing and playing games, or spending Christmas Eve talking shit about somebody relaxing and playing games? Because, like, yeah, if you live alone and you don't have family obligations, this sounds like a solid way to spend the holidays. Sounds a lot better than searching the internet for people to talk down on because they didn't buy the right plastic box. But then again, this is the same dude who also tweeted out on Christmas, Merry Christmas to all true gamers, owners of PlayStation and Japanese consoles. It's another great year of quality with the heart-pounding final of God of War Valhalla. Let's pray for the green clowns who have had no quality for 11 years. Beta Wolverine is better than mid-pass. In case you were wondering, this right here is the funniest thing ever. Beta Wolverine? That's how we're referring to this now? The Wolverine beta? Really? Like, I can't believe this. You're a diehard Sony guy. You think PlayStation is the best thing ever, and yet the in-development footage of Wolverine that was literally stolen from Insomniac's offices, you're referring to that as a beta. The footage that was never supposed to see the light of day, and that was part of a hack that completely destroyed PlayStation's best studio from the inside out, you're referring to that as the game's beta, and using it as a dunking point on Xbox, on Christmas, because you truly do not give a fuck about anything other than the PlayStation logo. This is pathetic. Whoa, look at the time. It's time to ad plug. Go to 4dgaming.com and get a new mouse pad with code Joe for a discount. They're really nice mouse pads and I genuinely super recommend them. Go to Glitch Energy and get some really, really good energy formula. It's basically G Fuel but better, and use code Joe for a discount. Again, I genuinely recommend this. And also go over to the Joe from Seattle music channel and listen to my band's new song. It'll be up on Spotify and Apple Music soon, along with the rest of the upcoming EP, but the song is live now if you want to hear it early and free on the music channel. Okay, back to the video. Unleashed tweets out at 4 a.m. on Christmas Day a really low effort Drake meme of Xbox and PlayStation. God, like, I've said before that I'm almost positive this Unleashed dude is just a troll. That's why I've stopped using him in my videos as much. But like, this is just as pathetic as actually being this much of a fanboy, you know? Because you're up at 4 a.m. on Christmas Day posting console war bait. You're either the most pathetic person alive, or you're LARPing as the most pathetic person alive. And that's still really pathetic. Tim Dog says, like I said, innovation will be focused on next Xbox console. 4K 60 will obviously be the ceiling. But yeah, heard Xbox is focusing on innovation. Exciting times. Imagine the launch line they could have. Elder Scrolls 6, Halo, Blade, COD. Games is something they will always be able to lean on with the 35 studios. Ah, man, Tim Dog, I think, is the most obnoxious person in the Xbox base. Like, just straight up, he's the worst. This dude tries so hard to be an insider and appear like he has some kind of actual role within Xbox, but really he's just saying the most vague fanboy nonsense over and over again, so then when something does or doesn't come true, he can either claim ownership or he can totally deny it. It's so blatant, but people still take him seriously somehow. Like, look at this. Oh man, I've heard Xbox is focusing on innovation right after you mentioned that 4K 60 is going to be the cap. You know, 4K 60, the benchmark that both Xbox and PlayStation have been desperately trying to lock in for like half a decade, and the benchmark that's been readily available to you on the PC for as long as I can remember. Wow, such innovation on display. In this part, games will always be something they can lean on. Yeah, that's called being a video game company, you complete goose. This is such a fucking pointless tweet, and you just know he wrote this while making pretty boy faces to himself in the mirror, like, ooh, oh, Merry Christmas to me, I'm an insider. And then you literally use 200 and something characters to say nothing. Oh my lord. VGC tweeted out a post saying that Hellblade 2 could be Xbox's most important exclusive, which is just tiresome at this point. And then Hype says, we've been hearing this since forever. First it was Halo Infinite, then Redfall, then Starfield, and now this. Just give up. With Xbox, expectations are always zero. Can we just leave Hellblade 2 alone? Like really, VGC was the one that egged this one on, so ultimately it's on them. But like, why can't games just be games? Why does every new AAA game have to be the most important thing ever? Why can't they just be a fun game? Like, even Puerto Rock was on this one. He said, please don't do this. Just leave Hellblade 2 alone and let it be what it be. Don't set these ridiculous expectations. And like, dude, I'm out here agreeing with Puerto Rock. I'm putting him up in a video as an example of a logical and reasonable take. You're staring down the barrel of a fucking Christmas miracle right now. Someone tweeted out a video of a kid being excited to open a PS5. And then Jay quote tweets it and says, there's so many reactions like this for PS5s, it lets you know how strong the PlayStation brand is. This is why Phil conceded in the battle for #1 console. Microsoft knows it would be nearly impossible to beat PlayStation and Nintendo. Because the first thing I do when I see someone happy about a present they're opening, maybe it's because their parents worked really hard to get it for them, maybe it's because they've been asking for it for a long time. The first thing I do is look at the thing they open and how much joy it brings them and be like, yes, let me explain to you the state of the market from my perspective. God, like fucking insert the you must be fun at parties meme, which is like the oldest meme imaginable, but still, like, give me a more applicable meme, I'm ready for it. Stoic Gamer says, God of War Valhalla was excellent. My best advice to the Xbox bots, buy a PS5 and download this free DLC. You'll have to buy Ragnarok. No, you aren't used to purchasing software. I'm rooting for you. Play Valhalla. It teaches you to transcend from your past. You don't have to be frauds. And his profile picture is him not wearing a shirt. I love this. So you play this game. It teaches you to transcend from your past. Coming from the dude still posting shirtless pics of himself on Twitter with an X in his username. Like, oh my god. Oh, this one's too good. I got nothing. On this one. Oh, you spelled Ragnarok wrong too. Spelled Valhalla right twice, but you spelled Ragnarok wrong. God damn it. Okay, last one. This one's from Boxing Day, but you know, like I said, it's not much better. 9:23 a.m. the day after Christmas. Yeah, you're still in this video. Xbox Curator says releasing Xbox games on PC was a bad decision. PC users don't even like or respect the games, and it killed console sales. I feel like if Starfield was Xbox exclusive, it would have been better off because Xbox players are the only ones who give it the respect it deserves anyway. So first of all, with this whole, Xbox games on PC was a bad decision. PC is the reason why Halo exists now. I'm just gonna say that. The PC version of Master Chief Collection was a roaring success. The PC version of Halo Infinite has been getting a very nice hefty comeback, and that's good. Other Xbox games on PC like Sea of Thieves and Forza have been doing very well on PC. And need I remind you that the PC version of Starfield sold more than the Xbox version. So this idea that, Xbox people are the only one who give Starfield any respect, we bought it more than you. Also, this whole releasing games on PC killed console sales. Isn't the current gen of Xbox selling better than the last gen? Or like, am I wrong about that? I was under the impression that this gen is doing pretty all right for Microsoft. Now, maybe you're just upset about the fact that the Steam version of Starfield has recently been hit with the mostly negative label, which, frankly, I think is deserved. I don't think the game is actually at like a 32% quality. I don't think that's accurate, but I think it's absolutely fair that Bethesda gets hit with a mostly negative label because of their handling of the game and their handling of the feedback. So if by respecting the game you mean just never criticizing it, yeah, you're right. The PC players probably aren't the best representation of that. But frankly, we don't care, because if you want to be petty about this, we're better than you. If you think a game is not deserving of any criticism ever, and that you should never criticize things because there is a certain logo you like on it, I say it again. We're better than you. So that's how a lot of people spent their Christmas. I hope you guys had a good Christmas. I had a great Christmas. Largely because I wasn't engaging with these things, I was just taking screenshots so I could make this video a few days after Christmas, once I've settled, once I've digested my cookies, once I've shaken hands with Santa Claus for being such a good boy this year. But good golly, this one was, deck the halls with holy fuck, bro. That one was stupid. Okay, toodles.